All right, I am now almost 3 weeks since having surgery to repair my collarbone. Had a follow up with my surgeon yesterday, so about 19 days after my surgery. Things are going really well. I'm progressing as I would expect. Talking to the surgeon, basically he was pleased with everything. I didn't have any real specific questions for him because I understand this process. So part of this video, I want to let you know, the viewer, if you're in a situation like mine, recovering from surgery, not just maybe of breaking your collarbone, but of other injuries, things to question your surgeon on, like what can you do, what are reasonable timelines, so you can get some idea of when can you make plans, whether it's events or races, or when you want to get back to riding and how you should progress through that. But basically a little update about myself first. So tomorrow would be exactly 3 weeks post-surgery. My range of motion is improving nicely, getting overhead. You can see still slow. I can get up there, but it's just slow. A lot of tension in my collarbone. Ultimately, my shoulder blade is not moving as optimally as it can. So that's the only negative I'm really experiencing, is I'm getting some rotator cuff irritation, and that's partially because my shoulder blade is not moving as much because it's still trying to protect my collarbone. So as I'm trying to limit how much overhead things I do. Nothing in rehab or in the gym yet, other than some range of motion to work on getting my arm overhead. But because of that, because my shoulder blade is not moving optimally, my rotator cuff gets kind of a little bit extra. So I am working on strengthening my rotator cuff along with all the muscles around my body, doing push-ups, variations, rows, some pull downs with bands, and a modified plane of movement, so I can respect the current range of motion and the healing process and the phase that my collarbone's in. To being only 3 weeks, there's not a lot of calcium laid down in the bone yet. It's the callus, the area that is healing of the bone, is getting stronger. It is getting more towards a solid state. But even though there are two plates, you can see from the picture here, 2 plates and multiple screws holding my collarbone together. The body still knows that there's stress being placed on the bone, and it won't let me just fully jump way far ahead. So I got to respect the natural physiology of my body. So I've been pretty stoked with my progress. Slowly lowering the barbell I'm doing push-ups on, getting upwards of 75% of my previous barbell row weight, which is really good. Rowing doesn't put a lot of stress on my collarbone, so I find I'm progressing a little bit quicker with that. It's the pressing and overhead movements that are taking longer. I've been gently riding a bike, mostly on the trainer. I did attempt to pump track. I went slowly. I could feel a lot of tension and soreness in my collarbone, so I called it quits pretty quickly, as partially just listening to the body, paying attention to what it's telling you. And so you're going to the surgeon. A lot of people don't know what to expect. Sometimes depends on the surgery, depends on the injury. There's some very specific timelines that want to be held. As in, like I was told, 6 weeks after surgery when I can heavily load it and increase risk. It's obviously very common with bone healing. About 6 weeks is when the bone is getting very close to its full previous pre-injury strength. A lot of calcium has been laid down. It is now bone. It's not rubbery, fibrous, or any kind of other soft description of tissue that can be. I know I'm gently, not loading it heavily. Sometimes there is certain injuries, certain surgeries need a certain period of immobilization, or movement only within a certain range. You're only going to go to, say, 90 degrees of certain rotation or certain movement or less, because there has been a repair that you cannot stress. If you stress it, you risk basically re-tearing it or undoing the repair. So follow your surgeon's advice on these sort of topics. But generally, they give a general rundown of the protocol and what can and can't be done, what times. But it's not saying that you can't work up to the limit of what the surgeon has given you until that time. This gives you the best chance of progressing from phase to phase and not falling behind. And ultimately, when you get clear to return to sport, you are actually ready. Because oftentimes I see a mistake made is, say it's 6 weeks, say it's 2 months, 3 months after, it's like, hey, this is when you're quote unquote cleared, but you have not gained sufficient range of motion. You are not as strong and powerful and as coordinated with the injured body part as you were pre-injury. Yes, you're cleared, quote unquote, but you're not prepared to perform. And this is a common problem I've seen of re-injury and poor performance and frustration. And I've worked with multiple people that have ended up in this situation because whether they try to do it themselves or working with somebody that doesn't understand rehab to performance continuums, unfortunately, it's not as common in the industry as it should be. So if you find this helpful, please reach out if you have any questions about your injury or anything, or you're struggling through something. I'm more than happy to help through DMs or in the comments.